Today we're going to fix this rocker with a homemade patch panel. The first thing you want to do is cut out all the rust. And this guy, the green one, he cuts better to the right, and the red one cuts better to the left. So we'll start with the red one. We're just going to cut out, and you can feel if you have good metal. And this guy goes better in that direction. After cutting out all the rust, this is what we're left with. The rest of this is very strong, along with this and this. This was a patch we did from the inside. This, I believe, all rotted out from a mouse nest, and the rest of this is nice and strong. So we kept this. It's real strong. We're going to use that as a guide, make a patch for right here, and then we'll finish it up by making a patch here, because this is a weird little bend and it would be hard to make with one whole patch. Using a piece of cardboard as a template, we're going to go under this like that, but then over here. So under, because we can't knock that down, but we can knock that down. And we're just going to go just like that, weld along here, and then lap weld here. This is a lap weld, but very small. So let me show you the patch up close. This is one end, and so that you can bend it, we put some reliefs in there. So that will allow us to bend, and then we'll weld those up. Then on the other end, we just have this so that it can go under yet over. And again, from a different angle, this is what it'll look like. We're going to leave this a little long. We'll trim that up after we weld it. Here's an up-close shot of what we have so far. Now that we got it close, I'm going to cut this out right here so that it just overlaps a little bit. These gloves are pretty dirty, so if you just rub them along that cut, you'll get your design that you need. I'm not sure if you can see it, but now we can cut about a 1/4 inch past that and then trace that on our pattern so that we get that. Something like that. Here's a few close-ups before we weld. Nice and tight right here, and nice and tight in the back. We'll push it down with a screwdriver as we weld. We'll tack it into place just like this, all the way around the perimeter, and then fill in the gaps. Here's a close-up shot of how tight and how flush you want it to be before you weld. Finally, at the end, we'll just make a couple relief cuts and bend this over so it looks like that after the filler work is done. Here's a close-up shot of that end before we weld up the slots. And again, the other patch is going to come in there like that. And then we'll get the rest with filler. Now this slants up, so after we weld this, we force that into position. Now with the new metal, everything's nice and solid. After welding it up, and I don't have the welds right on top of each other, there's about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch in between, and it doesn't seem to make any difference whether I weld it solid or not. Anyway, at this point, we're going to grind the welds down just a little, not completely flat, and tap down that seam and fill it. But that's for another video. I hope you enjoyed this video though on forming a homemade patch and welding it in. If you did, and you'd like to get my latest videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.